Hey, welcome to my channel. Today is going to be the first part in a series I'm doing called Road to 3 Marks. For this series, I'm going to be taking the replays of a few games from my 3 mark session with a given tank and analyzing them. I'll talk about what I did well, mistakes I made, and most importantly, why I did what I did. The goal will be to share my experiences with marking tanks and hopefully help you guys get the marks you want. The first few parts of this series will be about the Object 140. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright, so like I said, I'm in the Object 140. This tank's strength is its DPM, and when you're marking tanks, you want to use their strengths to the best of your ability, so that's what I was doing during this game. I was trying to just find opportunities to use my DPM. But the first thing you want to do in any game is check both the lineups for both teams. So the first thing I noticed is there's 2 clickers, which isn't great for me because I'm always getting clicked for some reason. But it could be worse, there could be 3. So it is what it is with that. I noticed there's a decent amount of heavies, decent amount of mediums, and then 3 light tanks. I decide, or at least I plan on playing the south right now. I can expect a lot of their heavy armor to go to the ice road, or at least that's where a lot of heavies often go, and I don't want to fight pure heavies. I want to fight a mix of heavies and mediums, which is usually what goes down south here. So my plan is to go south. But a good thing to do when you're marking tanks is to get a little bit of early damage, which is what I'm doing right there. That's why I came up to this middle area. But you can see I get spotted right there. So I take one more shot into that IS-7, and then I fall back because I don't want to get clicked. So at this point, I don't think I'm spotted anymore. That guy's not looking at me, and I haven't been clicked yet, which is usually a good sign. So I load heat because it doesn't lose penetration over distance, and it's also good against thick flat armor like that E100 has. My sixth sense has not gone off again, so I'm still assuming I'm not spotted. And once again, I have not been clicked yet. Not sure if that shell goes in. I ask this AMX to spot the E100 if he's able to. You can see I'm up to 650 damage right now, which is not bad for a beginning of a game. He does spot the E100 again, so thanks to him for that. That allows me to get another shot in. So I'm to 950. And now looking at the map, I've noticed they've pushed across the bridge, right? So they have 2 mediums across, but we also have 2 tanks there. So I don't expect them to push through the bridge for at least a little while. So I'm going to continue to play the south, which was my original plan. Now, I like to play these little... There's a few bumps in the terrain right here, which I find useful for low gun depression tanks, like this Object 140. So I initially want to play there. But that only works if the enemies have pushed up to where this IS-7 is, where our IS-7 is. So this area, these are the bumps I'm talking about, is not going to work because there's no enemies to shoot at. You can see their E100 still way back here, the one who lost most of his HP early on when he was crossing. So I decide to go up to this little outcropping right here to see if I can get shots on the people crossing the bridge. You can see this 277 just hit the VK. It doesn't work out for me to get shots, but I make a little bit of a mistake getting spotted here. I could have been punished for that. Luckily I wasn't. But now I'm just looking for shots in the C100, and there's not really any good shots. But anyway, I'm going to pause it for a sec. If you look at the map here, I noticed that we're outnumbered on the ice road, right? It's 3-2. And additionally, there's now more tanks on the bridge. So we have 2 tanks here. This AMX-50B is falling back to my position. But I'm beginning to think we're going to lose the north. They've got a lot of tanks up there. And when you think you're going to lose a side, you want to push the other side generally, because ideally you can have control of half the map. Because the more land you have, the more options you have, and the more options you have, the more likely you are to win the game. So you want to have control of as much land as you can, which is hopefully half the map. Anyway, I'm looking for shots on the C100. These they're not likely to hit, so I'm going to save my shells and not bother with that. But luckily, this E5 decides to drive right across my gun, and I snapshot into his turret, so I'm lucky that one hit. I continue to look for shots at this 100. That one misses, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I'm still looking at the map, and I still think we're going to lose the north. So we start to push this side. I'm still shooting heat, just because I want to get through these heavies front armor. And now I'm going to pause again. You can see that they now have an object 140 here. So now I'm even more sure that we're going to lose the north. So I look for shots on this guy. You can see I actually kind of jack my tank up on this mountain here, which that artificially gives me more gun depression, which is a good tactic to use in tanks with low gun depression. So you can get shots on tanks you normally wouldn't be able to hit, like this E5 here. You can see I get a shot into him. So we just lost our 5A up here, and our 13105. So that's 2 more of our tanks gone in the north. So I'm more or less certain that they're going to start to get into our base soon. And it's right around this time that I decide to go back. Should be coming in a second. Wait. Alright, there it is. But here's something that I see people have trouble with. They don't. A lot of people don't know whether to push the enemy's base or fall back to their own in this kind of situation. And what I found is that a lot of players, when people are on their cap, they immediately panic and run back to reset. So in a situation like this, if I thought that I could get to their cap before they got to mine, I would take that chance, because if I start capping, usually that'll draw all the enemies that are on my cap back to theirs. However, in this situation, I'm pretty sure that they're going to get to mine before I get to theirs. They've already taken the bridge, so all I need to do is drive down to our cap. So I decide to fall back. Additionally, with this map, this quarter right here is not great to push down. It's kind of like a funnel. This JPEZ could have come back for all I know. He doesn't, but he could have at this point in the game. And it's really hard to push down this quarter without losing a lot of your HP, and I need to save that for this game. So I decided to go back. You can see I kind of asked these heavies to come back with me. Eventually they do, which is nice. This is just me driving. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like I stop here. I look for shots on this VK, but I don't take them because his armor is facing towards me. This Panzerwagen actually pushes around and kills our 50B, which is unfortunate. But that allows me to get the kill on him. So we're up to 2,000 damage now, which is nice. But I noticed that this T95 is flanking our TVP, and our TVP doesn't seem to notice that he's being flanked. Later on, you'll see that he doesn't really turn around until the T95 is like on top of him. So I don't know if he was probably tunnel visioning on one of these guys down here. Anyway, but that allows me to get an opportunity to hit this T95, because I don't think he expects me to come back, because I haven't been spotted for a little while. So this allows me to use my DPM to try to get this guy out of the game, which is what I do. You can see the TVP is just now turning around. It looks like he's clipping. Yep, he's calling for help, so he's clipping. I get one shot into the T95. I get another shot. I'm lucky that one penned. And he actually goes over the edge of the cliff. So that's good. And then here, rather than going back down the ramp I came up, I decide to drop down the small cliff here. And what that allows me to do is come at this Progetto from another angle. This allows me to put the Progetto, who I was assuming was going to come around, and he does. It allows me to put him into a crossfire. He wasn't even looking at me, you can see there. I did whiff the first shot, which is unfortunate. The track absorbed it. But now I decide that it's worth using some of my HP to get him out of the game, which I do. Now unfortunately I lose a little more than I was hoping to. You can see I got clicked, as did our TVP. So he's dead. But their T95 also fell off the cliff, which is great. That gets him out of the game. So now I'm just pushing up this this hill a bit to hopefully spot their IS-7 and JPEZ. You can see this 277 is coming back to help me, and the IS-7 says he's going to come help me as well, which is nice. So I'm looking to try to spot these guys right now. I do spot the JPEZ. He was actually farther along than I expected him to be. And here's where I make probably the biggest mistake of the game, right? So when you're marking tanks, you need damage. And I see this 2000 HP damage pinata of a tank right in front of me, and I start to get greedy. Now I know I can beat him in a 1v1 because he has no turret, but I forget about the size 7, which is dumb. I knew he was there. I just, like I said, got greedy when I saw the damage. So I start to yellow him, which is not the right play because this I7's right here. Now luckily, the I7's shooting HE, so he only does 230 damage to me. He does damage my rack, which is unfortunate because I still have 37 seconds on my repair kit. But it is what it is. And here's where I almost throw the game. So I have 1052 HP, and this guy has 1050 alpha. So if he hits me, there's a very good chance that I'm going to die. Now luckily, his shell goes over my head, you can see. It's very, very lucky, and that actually saved my game. But I can now regroup. Right here I kind of stop, and I'm typing to tell the 277 that my rack is damaged. I am getting clicked as I'm typing this. Got clicked again, there goes more of my HP. I mean, what can you do at this point? But he tells me to follow him, which I do. I'm assuming he's going to push the base because we only have 20 seconds left on this, so we don't really have a choice. We kind of have to get these guys off our cap. My repair kit's almost back up. I do reset the Jog Tiger, or Jog Panzer, excuse me, right there. My rack's back up. The Jag Tiger, or Jag Panzer actually missed, so now I can punish him for missing. And this 277 gets the kill. Right about there, so thanks to him for that. We're still getting clicked. Our HP is slowly dwindling, but this I7's on our base, so now we need to push this guy, but the problem is we're both one-shots. This I7 doesn't seem like the strongest of players. I'm not sure if he's a new one or whatever, but our 277 unfortunately gets clicked there. That's too bad. He was a good player, so thanks to him for helping me out. But now it's me, a one-shot 140 against a more or less full health I7. Well, not anymore, but he was. And here I'm in a pretty bad position, right? Because I'm not at all clicker safe here, but I don't have a choice but to be here, because if I move from away from this dead Progetto, this I7 is going to kill me. So I just have to hope I don't get clicked. And I don't. I think they both shot and are reloading because they killed the 277. But now this I7 makes a pretty big mistake. So when you're in a 2v1, like this I7 is, or 1v2, however you want to call it, you want to focus down the lower HP tank, which would be me, because you want to get his gun out of the game so that he can't shoot at you anymore. And then you can clean up the last guy once you've dealt with one of them. This I7 decides to shoot at our, let's see, our full health I7. You'll see him do that in just a sec, which was a mistake. You can see I'm right out here in front of him, and he's turning his turret towards that I7. So that costs their I7 his game. In my opinion, he should have tried to kill me. Luckily he doesn't. I narrowly avoid death by that clicker. I'm down to 200 HP now, and the rest of the game is more or less just chasing down their tanks. So I'll speed that up. You don't want to watch me drive. You can see I say their scent is on 200 HP. I don't remember where I saw him, but I know he's low. And here's a little bit of bad driving by me. You can see I run into our scent. Looks like I was typing or something. But both this Leo and I are low, right? I don't want to throw this game. Let me speed this up. I think this takes a couple seconds. Their artillery gets spotted up on that hill. There he is. Our I7 takes him out. So good shot to our 7. And now we can just push in and take care of these last guys. So this is a bit of a spotting game with this Centurion. I'm not sure where he is, so I'm just going slowly. I'm using this rock to get hauled down, and I take him out. I'm not sure if I was spotted before I shot, but regardless, he's dead, and that's what counts. So he's out of the game. Unfortunately, our Leo actually dies to this clicker, but I appreciate him taking the shot because that allows me to get the rest of the damage off this clicker. So yeah, that's the game. That was 6.3k damage, 4 kills, and let's go take a look at the end plates. Alright, so here are the end plates. That was a Master Badge First Class. I got Confederate Defender for that base defense and high caliber. I ended up with 6675 damage. Looks like I did hit that Object 140 from the very beginning of the game. I made 95,000 credits, but I ended up losing 20,000 just because I shot someone's gold. But that's just about it for the end plates. I hope this was helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have any comments, questions, requests, or anything, leave them in the comments and I'll be happy to reply. Thanks again. See you in the next one.